Jacob, why we always racing in the rain? A race now. This is my kind of race. Okay, we're off to the races. Literally, my first mistake I made is I had my glasses clipped onto my shirt. I forgot to put them on, and so right here I got a little bit behind. I wish I would have been able to sprint right here because I got put into the third position, and I'm pretty sure the guy right in front of me was working with the two guys in front of him, and he was kind of supposed to be the gatekeeper, if you will. So I was pretty soaked from practice. It had been raining the entire time I was warming up. But one thing that I guess I kind of got clued into right away is the three guys in front of me, when we got into the single track, they weren't really pushing very hard. Now obviously try to get a really strong sprint at the beginning, get out in front, and there is a grueling sort of a low grade climb coming up, and so yeah, when we're here at this point, I didn't try to make any moves or try to do anything. I just kind of tried to pace with these guys, but I see that the number one rider is obviously even further ahead of us. We crossed the stream, and then this little section of double track is it'll catch you by the time you get about midway through it. So I'm just gonna speed the video up until we get to the next strategic part. So right here, I was able to make a pass on the number 3 guy, and I guess I didn't really even realize it at the time, but that's pretty much what secured my podium. Heart rate's definitely pretty high at this point. The double track before doing the downhill, if you will, on Cadillac is definitely, it'll just kind of get on you. There's some different low grade climbs that have some sections that'll start spiking my heart rate up to the top, and just try to keep a steady pace on it. I was able to just kind of keep somewhat in the zones that I wanted to, and then this is the last little piece of single track before you actually start into the Cadillac downhill section. And obviously I was looking forward to getting a little bit of downhill after this long double track climb. So, you know, I always try to race anything that's local in my backyard. I'm not a great XC racer. This is the time of the year where I've already done a lot of downhill racing, and so my cardio tends to be a little low towards the end of the summer every year, and I have about 3 weeks usually before this first FSC race to just come out and start doing laps out here. And it's always kind of fun to watch how my fitness picks back up over just a few short weeks of riding this pretty consistently. The conditions had been very, very dry and very, very hot over the last couple of weeks, and so this was a little bit of a different scenario. So for me, I liked it. I liked the mud, I liked it being gritty, I like it being dirty. It reminds me of racing downhill. And while it's not always fun to be in one of these stretchy suits wet, oh, this was an interesting spot. So I just tried to make a pass on that guy, and I don't know if he didn't see me or he just didn't want to see me, but I ended up off the bike for a few seconds there. but this is the last section of Cadillac, and these are fun little downhill sections. I would say for Tallahassee, this is probably some of our more technical or downhill related single track that we have.
Thanks, buddy.
This last little section here, if you noticed, I did not go over that wooden bridge right there, or skinny. That's where I actually ripped about half my skin off my leg 2 years ago, which was the last time that I had raced this race. So I had the foot injury last year, ended up having surgery. By the time that this race was going on in 2023, I had not yet had the surgery. I was still waiting to get that surgery scheduled. So now we're heading into Magnolia, and this is probably where I suspected the trail would be in the worst shape, though it still wasn't that bad. There were some mud puddles and some little slippy spots here and there, but nothing too crazy. Just continued to make some passes here and there. I don't know, none of these guys would have been in my group. I guess they were in some of the groups that were released in front of me. But always the easiest or best place to pass folks. But I just tried to keep consistent, keep it going, keep going forward. And, you know, this trail can be a little sandy in a lot of the corners, and it's something that it's kind of interesting how the water, it does drain pretty well, and the local Timba mountain biking club is pretty consistent with staying up with the drains, and so it wasn't any like gross mud puddles or anything like that, and I didn't really even think the roots were that slippy, though I did notice that it just had a little bit more of a sluggish feel in terms of being on the track. So this is one of the tougher little punchy hills. They'll kind of zap you. There's two sections to it, that corner, and then you've got this last little punch right here. Always kind of gets you going. And then this is the dirt jumps that you saw off to the side there. And yeah, so we're just kind of coming around this last little bit of section, and I had something kind of funny happen. So right as I'm going into the trail for the wall ride, this kid comes up and he wants to pass me on the berm, and I'm like, whatever. And then I had to kind of pull back because he didn't end up going over the wall ride, and I almost passed him on the wall ride. And then as we come around this corner, instead of, I don't know, maybe he either couldn't, or I'm not sure what the deal is, but he just jumped off his bike and started running up the hill, and he kept on running on up the next hill as well. So that was kind of interesting. But, you know, I always appreciate hitting this race. It gets my fitness going. It's fun to race in your backyard. It's great seeing everybody. It's kind of a local Tallahassee tradition that most of the folks that ride with come out and race this race. We've had a lot of folks on the podium, and I look forward to hitting this race again next year. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'm probably not going to do any more XC racing this year, and I think this was my 10th race of the season, so I'm pretty tired, ready to kind of take a little bit of a break and then start thinking about 2025. So I ended up third on the podium for this race, and yeah, it was a good time out there. I guess this is what I would consider a downhiller's best, worst case, best case scenario for an XC race, if you will. All right, take care.
Ryan Aviles. Second place. We need more applause. This is the Clydesdales, man. Gotta keep these guys happy. Mauricio Hidalgo. All right. All right, put your hands together. All right, put your hands together. Back turns. All right, there we go. Novice net. One more time. Novice.